Namaste and good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, and Thursdays we do first meditation, and after that we have this class on the Upanishads. So these days we are trying to understand what this great Rishi is telling us in this Taittiriya Upanishad. So let's start with the Vedic prayers. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parbrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhu Bhava Swaha Tatsavitra Vareneyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Asto Ma Sadgamya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya Mrityorma Amritam Gamya Om Sahnavavatu Sahnabhunaktu Saviryam Karvavahi Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahi Om Shanti 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 Om. Let's recite the Shanti mantra also, which is a part of this Taittiriya Upanishad. Om Shannaho Mitraha Sham Varunaha Sham No Bhavtu Aryama Sham Nah Indro Brihaspati Sham No Vishnu Rukrama Namo Brahmane Namate Vayo Tvam Eva Pratyaksham Brahm Asi Tvam Eva Pratyaksham Brahm Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tatmam Avtu Tatvaktaram Avtu Avtu Mam Avtu Vaktaram Om Shanti 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 Om. Last week we started this new section where this Rishi is giving a convocation address to the student or the students. Actually, we don't know whether there were multiple students or one student. These great Rishis of that time, they did not mind teaching even to one student. They did not say that the hall should be full, then I'll start teaching. Even one person, each and every one of them, very important to them. So sometimes that's what I think. There was only one student. And that is a tradition my own Gurudev Ji carried on. He used to say, even in Kali Yuga, we can keep Satyuga traditions in our own ashrams, in our own homes, in our own minds. And Satyug means predominantly purity. Okay. So we saw that convocation address in this verse, Vedam Anuchiya Acharya Ante Vasinam Anushashati. He said, Satyam Vad Dharmam Char Swadhyayatma Parmada Pramada Acharyam Priyam Dhanam Ahrityehe Prajat Tantum Ma Vyavchetasihi. So basically what he's telling us through this convocation address to his students, how to live in this society. So mode of living with the reference to the society. We cannot run away from the society. We live in the society. That's encouraged. But then we got to have a proper relationship with our elders. Whether they were last generation, our grandparents, great-grandparents, they have gone, or whether our parents or the grandparents, if they're living, or other elders in the society. Because we don't live in seclusion. We live with other people. Human beings are basically social beings. And then he is going to tell us our relationship with our teachers. Teachers are always important. We have had many, many teachers in our life. What is our relationship? Our attitude towards the learned and the wise people in the society. Sure, we have a guru, we have a teacher, but there are other wise people in the society too. We should not disrespect them. Then we live in the society. We need to We have gotten so much from this world, we got to give back also. That's our dharma. So that means charity and the law of giving. If we don't give back, we are thieves. And another thing he's mentioning over here, whenever there is a doubt comes in our mind regarding our duties or even a conduct of life, what should we do? How should we clear it up? Who is there to help us? He's going to tell us that in this section. And also the doubts regarding our relationship with others falsely accused in the world. Somebody accuses us. What should we do? So all these very practical advice this guru is giving it to the disciple. So we saw after this first verse, because that's where he's mentioning that what is being covered in this section. Then in the second verse, he's telling us, respect your parents. They are devatas. Your mother as well as father. Matri deva bhava, pitri deva bhava. Both of them. Equal standing. No partiality between the genders. Matri. In fact, Matri is the first guru. Matri Deva. Then Pitri. Acharya Deva Bhav. Your guru. Atiti Deva Bhav. Anybody who comes to your house. Atiti. Your guests. See God in them too. So this is what we learned last week. Let's look at verse number 3, what he's talking about. यानि अनवध्यानि कर्माणि तानि सेवित व्यानि न उ इतरानि यानि अस्माकं सुचरितानि तानि तव्या उपास्यानि नो इतरानि. Yani means such. Anavdhyani, actions free from blemishes. Karmani, actions. Tani means those. Sevitvayani, must be done. Na-u, that means and not. Itrani, others. Yani means which? Asmakam, pertaining to us. Sucharitani, virtuous actions. Tani, those, tavya, by you. Upasyani, must be followed. No means and not. Itrani, others. Let only the actions that are free from blemishes be done, and not others. That means only the righteous actions, the good actions, pious actions, not the others. You must follow only those virtuous actions which are irreproachable, and not others. Only the virtuous actions follow, he says. There was a relationship between the guru and the disciple. And this particular verse shows how close the relationship was. The guru does not act like a superhuman being. They are living in under the same roof in the same ashram. So he says all the virtuous actions, the noble actions which I did, follow those. But if some actions were not noble, do not follow those. Because gurus, the teachers, they behaved among the students as they were mere mortals. And as mortals, we all have weaknesses. Okay? So he says, don't follow those, not others. So in case there is some kind of an unhealthy trait, even if the teacher is practicing, it should not be copied. We cannot say the teacher does it, we can do it too. No. These teachers, they were not hypocrites. They did not behave like they are like a super being. They behaved like ordinary people, ordinary mortals. And that's how they face their students. And that's the only way they can come down to move shoulder to shoulder with their students. It's almost like that's why we hear the words Tat. You are my son. You are my friend. What was the relationship between Arjun and Shri Krishna? Sure, they were cousins, but they were friends also. And even after Lord Krishna showed his Virat Roop, again, they were very close, just like that. They ate together, they played together. So this portion or this verse clearly shows whether it can be individual or an institution. They are not sanctioned to do something which is unpious. If they are doing it, people should not repeat them. A weakness is always a weakness. And no seeker has a right to perpetuate it. No institution should entertain the audacity to argue for it. That it's okay for me to do it. No, it's not. If it's not okay to lie, it's not okay to lie for a student, then it's not okay to lie for a teacher either. Let's look at next one. Number 4. Ye kech asmat shreyansa brahmana tesham tavya asanen prashasvitvam. Ye ke, those who. Cha means and, asmat, then us. Shreyansaha, more distinguished. Brahmana, Brahmans. Brahman means those are the teachers, they are the scholars. They know more than we do, Brahmana. They are living a life predominantly sattvic, Brahman. Tesham, of them, tavya, by you, asnen, in discussion. Na means not, prashasva sitvam, even a word or even a breath. Shwas means a breath. Asanen also means offering a seat. There could be two meanings over here. And prashasitvam means worshipped also. You must not even breathe a word when those who are most distinguished than you are in discussion on spiritual matters. That means be all ears. You can learn something from them. Do not just interrupt them. Do not just keep on talking. Or you must offer seat to superiors and worship them with acts of reverence and love. So that's why I said there are two meanings. So the relationship of the student with other gurus in life, because in the land there are many gurus, many teachers. They could be equal to your own guru, or they could be even greater than your own guru. And there's never a spirit of rivalry between the gurus and the teachers. In a society, we need a lot of teachers because there are so many students. So student may always naturally have enthusiasm. Don't show contempt with others on the land. So that's why the advice is given to his student over here to follow a healthier and more tolerant attitude. Tavya asanen prashasitvam. Okay, the arrangement of the words is very important over here. Okay, Tavya plus asanen plus prashasitvam. So when they are speaking, you stay quiet. And definitely you should offer the seat also. That's like when we offer the seat, what does it really mean? We are showing respect to these elderly, wiser people. So the idea is that you must be all ears and eyes when the wise talk. Not full of noise. Because when the teachers, these kind of teachers, when they gather, because it was very common, like a wise people they'll get gathered together and they'll do discussions. Plenty of ideas. They are coming from their mouths. And it's good to absorb them. And later on, we can discuss. If something we don't understand, it's okay to discuss it with your own teacher. But at that time, listen more. Because if we start discussion and arguments in the very beginning, we will really lose our own concentration. And maybe we'll just get choked and drowned in the discussion or the argument. It's very easy to slip into the argument because of our own ego. We like to make sure that everybody's agreeing with us. So this is what this great guru is telling the student. When you go home, you will in your own area find other teachers, and this is how you should behave. Show respect, show reverence, and do not just start speaking that how much you know now. Sure, you know a lot. Keep your mouth closed in the beginning. Shraddhyadeyam, Ashraddhyadeyam, Shriyadeyam, Hariyadeyam, Bhiyadeyam, Samvidadeyam. So this is about giving. Deya means giving, about the charity he is talking about. Shraddhya, with faith. That means gladly and willingly. That is giving. If somebody has to force it from us, that's not with faith. That's not a Shraddha. Deya means should be given. So giving is important, but how do we give? That is even more important. Ashraddhya, without faith. And again, that means unwillingly. Adeyam should not be given. So we should give with faith. Shriya, in plenty. Deyam should be given. Hariya, with modesty. Again, deyam means should be given. Bhiya. Bhiya over here means with the sympathy. Deyam. Samvida, with the friendliness. That means agreement in opinion. Samvida. Beautiful term. Charity or gifts should be given with faith. It should never be given without faith. It should be given in plenty, with modesty, and with sympathy. Let there be also agreement in opinion or a friendly feeling when gifts are given or when they are offered. In every culture, not only in Hindu culture, every culture, giving is stressed. There are special days so that we can give. It's stressed that on our birthdays, anniversaries, on other times also, Give, give, give. That is our duty. Okay. Especially the Hindu culture is essentially based upon the sacrifice implied in duty, and not upon acquisition, which is implied in rights. This is the very structure of Hinduism. Because we got to learn how to curb our animal nature. We get to learn how to purify and reach those greater heights of spiritualism. Our perfection is our goal. And every breath in any individual, every activity in our life, every thought in our mind, where did it come from? We have gotten a lot from our parents, from the society, from the nature, from our teachers, from our relatives. I mean, it's like constantly we've been taking. So that's why this great Rishi is telling a student, when you go back, now you're old enough, you got to start giving also. So the teacher has to give some instructions, how you should give, how this charity can best be practiced. Because normally in the name of the charity in the society, some actions are being taken which can ultimately destroy us. So the recipient is not getting a benefit. So teacher is telling the student, you are giving, you will give, but how to give also, so you can benefit from it. You can rise to those heights when you give with Shraddha, when you give in plenty, when you give with modesty, when you give the way you give it to a friend. So these are laws of giving, laws of giving. And you can say that the first law is give with faith. And we don't understand what faith is. Because in society, faith is generally understood as some idea to be swallowed without questioning, without inquiry. That's why it's called a blind faith. That's not faith is. We learned in other scriptures, especially the Vivek Chudamani, what faith is. To judge and understand rightly the full import of the advice of the teachers and the depth of the scriptures. So having a full understanding first. Use your intellect, definitely. It's not blind. Unless we are convinced of the nobility of the cause, unless we have come to a correct and independent judgment upon its worthiness, he says, that means it's not, you don't have a faith in it. Don't give like that. That giving will not help you. That giving will not help the recipient either. And again, the miserly giving will not benefit either the giver or the receiver. So that's why he says that having come to judge a cause to be deserving, give it to your, give in plenty. It's almost like they say that give with both hands. Normally when we look at it, a real giver gives both hands and eyes down. Eyes down means no pride, modestly, but with both hands. That kind of a charity can remove the egoism from us, vanity from us. So that's why give with modesty. And if we don't have a sympathy, To give without a sympathy is to build a temple without the idol. Okay? They say it's almost like painting a picture with a black color on a blackboard. No benefit from it. Okay? Because we are advised to give so that we can grow, so that we can flourish. So spirit of love has to be there. Okay? Spirit of love. Next two verses go together. Number 6 and 7. अथ यदि ते करम विचिकित्सः व वृत चिकित्सः व स्यात् ये तत्र ब्राह्मणा समर्षिणः युक्तः अयुक्तः अलूक्षः धर्मकामास्यु यथा ते तत्र वर्तेरन् तथा तत्र वर्ते तथा. At means now, yadi means if, te means for you, karam vichiksaha, any doubt regarding your actions. Should I do this or not do that? Va means or, vrit chikitsaha, any uncertainty regarding your conduct in life. Conduct, like a vyavhar. Va means or, seyat means should arise. Ye means whoever. Tatra, there. Brahmana, Brahmans. Some samarshinaha, able to judge impartially. So that means a person who has the equanimity. Yuktaha, self-controlled. Ayuktaha, independent. Alukshaha, not cruel. Dharam kamaha, devoted to dharam. Siyu means present, yatha as, te means they, tatra they, varteran would act. Tatha also, tatra there, varte tatha should act. Now, if there should arise any doubt regarding your actions or any uncertainty in respect of your conduct in life, you should act in those matters exactly as those Brahmins who are present there. Okay? So that means those wise people, you can follow their actions. Who are thoughtful? So that means, see, it's like a yuktaha, ayuktaha, who are present there, who are thoughtful. They do have some religious experiences also. Dharam kamaha, who are not cruel and are devoted to dharma. So in other words, he says that you are going away now. Some doubts may come. You might have some questions. Then where to get the answers? Make sure you get the answer from the qualified person, the right person. Continuation of this. Yat abhyakyateshu ye tatra brahmana samarshinaha yuktaha ayuktaha alukshaha dharmakamasyu yatha teshu varteterana tatha teshu varteta. And you can see that how it's there's a repetition in the end of it, so they both go together. At means now, abhyakyateshu, who are falsely accused of some crime. Ye means whoever, tatra means there, brahmana, samarshinaha, thoughtful, and rest of it just like last verse. Yukta, self-controlled, ayukta, independent, aluksha, not cruel, dharam kamaha, devoted to dharam, siyu means who are available, yatha means as, te means they, teshu, in such situations, varte, would behave. Tatha also, teshu in them, vartetha, should act. He says, and now, with regard to those who are falsely accused of some crime, you should rule yourself exactly in the same manner. Because this student may be in a leadership position, maybe need to rule. As do the Brahmins who are present there, who are thoughtful and religious, not set on by others, not cruel, and are devoted to dharma. Because in life, there may arise situation in which there may be a doubt in your mind as to what is the ideal way to life. So this young student is given the advice to follow the footprints of the elderly members of the society. They are almost like a champions of the culture. Not just merely a scholar. Because when you use the word Brahman, not just a scholar, but he's talking about a person who is well respected, who has the reverence, or a person who has the reverence for the sanctity of the scriptures also. A true Brahman is he who is not only a person of independent judgment and truly religious, but also a person with full freedom to express his ideas. That's what he's talking about here. But at the same time, should not be cruel. Sometimes you just have your own ideas and that you show cruelty. Should not be cruel. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Must be a self-dedicated champion of the greater values of life. And this guru is advising this young student to follow these kind of people. When there is a doubt regarding either your actions or your conduct. Okay? Whether it's a karam vichikitsa or a vrit vichikitsa. In all cases, follow what the ideal Brahman pursues. And even when there's a doubt, it's good to talk to somebody whom you revere, for whom you have respect, who has the answers for those questions. And in the society, because this Vrit Vichiksa, when he talks about different parts of the country may have a different cultural things to do. Okay. So then at that same time also he says, look at that Brahman. Ask that Brahman, what should I do? What is the right thing to do? Where I live, where I belong. So in other words, a student comes to doubt as to what is right conduct, and they get the direction from the proper place. Follow the eminent men of culture in that place, that district, that land. That's what he's telling us. Next verse. Eshaha adeshaha, eshaha updeshaha, eshaha ved upanishad, etatanushasanam, evam upasitvam, evam ucha etat upasyam. Esha means this, adesha means the command. Again, eshaha updeshaha. Upadesh means the teaching. Esha, this Ved Upanishad. It's the secret of the Vedas, or the cream of the Veda. Anushashanam, commandment. Evam, in this way, upasitvam, one should live one's life. Evam, this, u means verily, cha means and, etat, this, upasyam, one must act. This is the last verse of this section. He says, this is the command. This is the teaching. This is the secret of the Vedas. This is the commandment. This should be observed. Verily, having understood this fully, one must act in this way, in the way taught above. Continuously till the last, that means the last breath, all your life, and not otherwise. So that means these instructions are given to the student for the rest of his life. It's not 6 months or a year, the rest of your life. So first he says, this is the command, Adesh. But he amends it. I heard from my own Guru Devji also. Guru doesn't command. Okay. Guru gives the Upadesh. That's why if there are 100 students, 100 will behave, take differently. If it was Adesh, then everybody will. If Guru says stand, they'll all stand. It's an Upadesh. Gurus understand. Just like yesterday we were talking about. Certain students are more qualified than others. Some can absorb, others cannot absorb it yet. The simile which I used was the wet wood. Maybe the wood is still wet. It's not ready to burn yet. So that's why he says Upadesh. This is the advice, he says. Even though the student has a lot of respect and reverence for the Guru, and all the students do actually, but temperamentally, not every body is ready to accept command on ethical and moral rules right away. There is some hesitation. So that's why this Guru says, because there's a logic behind this, Adesh and Upadesh. But then he says, this is not just mine. This is from the Vedas, from the Upanishads. So he is appealing and he says, I am saying it, I'm giving you this sermon over here. But at the same time, these are not just my ideas. This has been mentioned in the Vedas and the Upanishads. This is the declarations of the Vedas, not just my intellectual hypothesis. Declarations of the Vedas are not subject matter for doubt. Remember that. Because they are the declarations of the saints and sages who report their own transcendental experiences rather than just enunciating their own finite and limited intellect. That's why they are called the seers. They are not just merely teachers. So that's why he says that this is the commandment of the Lord, the very creator of life. Because Vedas came from the mouth of the Lord himself. So all of them, starting from the first verse when he said, Satyam vad dharmam char, these are the sacred commandments in Hinduism. So just to summarize what we learned in this particular section, there is advice given regarding the individual himself. There is advice given the relationship with others. There's advice given for the right action, how to do the right action in this world. And there was advice how the attitude towards the wise people in the society. How should we treat them? Then there's a advice given about the law of giving the charity. Then there's advice given to follow the Guru, what Guru did. Take whatever was pious, whatever was righteous. And then there was a advice given in this verse that these commandments are to be followed diligently by every intelligent seeker who lives his life for a higher goal. And follow this for the rest of the life, not just for a day or two, for a month or two. But at the same time, do not let go of your worldly ambitions and your secular activities. So the student was encouraged to do all that, but based upon these Vedic principles. So this ends this particular section. Let's do the Shanti part and then we'll have the discussion. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Visheshyate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you very much.